Welcome back, YouTube. We're here on Monday or Tuesday, week 1, July 2029. This is season 2, episode 55. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is 55. We have TNA Thunder tonight. Slimmiversary 2029 is in 18 days. And off the top of our heads, we will probably wind up seeing CM Punk versus Randy Orton again, because rematch clause. I mean, I'm kind of digging this second title thing, because there's a lot of people like that we can't put titles on because we have. So here's the thing: I have one sole purpose. I have one sole concern, and that's Ace Austin. Because he's our figurehead. The day he leaves TNA is the day that TNA falls. So here's the thing. We make sure he doesn't leave TNA. So if that means that he gets to have 16 world title reigns, 38 grand reigns, and 27 X Division reigns, then that's what he'll get. But I did do this because there's only, I believe, one other person in the history of the TNA World title that have 6 reigns. And if I'm not mistaken, it is only, the closest will be Lashley, but the only that I'm seeing is Kurt Angle. Now, if Ace Austin was to accidentally lose it and then pick it up again, he would break that reign count, because already, let's look at Ace Austin's thing while we're here. Already, if we're counting all the weird title things, the ones that he's brought and made 2 into 1. He's what do they call that? The world title. Whatever they call it when they bring 2 and make it into 1. It makes it into undisputed. Anyhow, if we count the alliance titles, he has 1, 2, 3, 9 world title reigns, if we count even the alliance ones. But if we don't, he has 7 world title reigns. So that's how. I mean, they have all the reason in the world to push Ace Austin just like this, and they could. He could be TNA's figurehead, because he's been in TNA since the beginning of his career in 2019. I mean, we're 6 years into the future here. Well, 5 years into the future. And he's he didn't work nowhere for his first couple years. But in 2019, he got signed to TNA, and since then, he's worked for mostly only TNA, but he's also worked for a couple other promotions like New Japan of America. He's also worked in WWE. He went under the name Ryan DiPola, I think. Anyhow, and it was on 205 Live. But, anyhow, yeah, they could push him. And with TNA and NXT's, TNA and WWE's working thing, they could have Ace Austin come in, learn a thing or two from the other people there, and then have him wrestle somebody on the main roster. Possibly have him wrestle, I don't know, maybe Logan Paul. But get him a little coverage in WWE, and then when he goes back to TNA, he would bring TNA back that much more coverage, and he could be there. Like, here's what I mean. So Ric Flair, back in the day, he joined for a wrestling promotion of the name of Jim Crockett Promotions. Now, everyone knows Jim Crockett Promotions, but for the other people who doesn't, Jim Crockett Promotions would later become WCW after Ted Turner purchased Jim Crockett Promotions. Anyhow, Ric Flair joined Jim Crockett Promotions and he worked everywhere. But the biggest place he was the biggest in was North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina to be precise. So, and he was really their first big star. In fact, he was actually one of the first people to be recognized as a big star in wrestling history, actually. And then Hulk Hogan, of course, became a megastar. Ric Flair became a megastar. But, in my opinion, there's a couple wrestlers that could easily be the next generation of TNA. And this may make some people mad with what I say. Ace Austin being one of them. Another one being, let's see if we can find him. Well, if they picked up Chad Gable, he'd definitely be a great superstar. But Charlie Regal or Joe Bailey, he's William Regal's son, and I believe they could make a profit out of him. Also, they could bring back their alliance with AEW and get Samoa Joe back on there. But that's I'm not trying to say anything bad, but that's yesterday's stars. Because Samoa Joe's getting older. AJ Styles is getting older. I mean, AJ Styles is getting ready to retire, so he doesn't have all that many years. And in fact, I'm shocked I got him to stretch this far in the database. And I think that when they made this database, it was just really, really a big person on AJ Styles and said that, hey, let's have him wrestle for as long as he can. Because he is still pretty good. I mean, if you look at that, his whole TNA career here, after his return, he's only had 4 injuries, and 3 of them was in 2026. Now, I think if we was gonna be honest, I don't think AJ Styles is gonna wrestle till he's 52 or whatnot. I think he's really getting ready to retire because AJ Styles is getting up there in age, and he knows it, and he wants to retire. I mean, I think what he really wants to do is get one more world title reign and then just call it the end. I mean, in my opinion, when it's all said and done, AJ Styles is going to be noted as if not one of, then the top 10 greatest. Heck, maybe even the top 5. Because he can go to New Japan tomorrow and wrestle and make a 5-star match. He can go to TNA, make a return, and bring 5-star matches. AJ Styles still holds TNA's only 5-star match. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels. All 3 was in the same match. That one match is the only match that TNA has ever got at a 5-star match. That's why I say AJ Styles will go down as one of the greatest wrestlers ever. Period. But let's get into it. John Cena and Julia Hart is backstage, and John Cena tells Julia Hart not to give up because she lost, but to keep trying because of the failure. That failure is what motivates us. Liv Morgan is backstage and Marshall Von Erich is kind of trying to work his charm on her, sorry. And Marshall Von Erich gets slapped by Liv Morgan. Seems like she might be an Ace Austin fan. MJF and CM Punk is backstage and they start brawling. But we do see Ace Austin come out to the ring and he's holding a microphone in his hands. And he says, the Von Erichs, they think they're the toughest family. He says, they ain't even the toughest family. He says, you've got the Rhodes. You've got the McMahons. Heck, now you've even got the Levesques. And the Von Erichs haven't been as legendary as they was in the 80s. And Marshall and Ross sure ain't making them any more legendary. Because I was the one who created them, he says. Aoki Yayo defeated Sami Zayn by pinfall with the Tiger Suplex hold. This is becoming a great wrestler. Ace Austin defeated Drew Galloway in 12 minutes and 22 seconds by pinfall with the House of Cards. During the match, we also seen Marshall Von Erich run in and attack Ace Austin, and Ross also did. But Ace Austin made defense number 5 of the TNA World title. It got an 80, which is great. AJ Styles comes out and he says, Ayaki Yayo, if you want another shot at the X Division title, fairly, then you have it. He says, but to ensure that we can have no other competitors enter, to be safe, let's have it in a steel cage, he says. MJF is backstage and he's kind of mad because he's trying to get world title match and none of the world champions want to listen. Ace Austin comes up and he is, he says, Marshall and Ross Von Erich attack me every single week, he says, and I still win my matches. He says, but yet if Marshall Von Erich gets somewhat of a bad day, he can't win his matches for a month. And let's not get him started on his brother, Ross. Ross betrayed his brother twice. What kind of stuff is that? Ace Austin drops the microphone. Austin Theory took on Aki Yayo, and Austin Theory defeated him, but it only got a 56. Wonder why. Let's look at the dirt sheet and see. Inconsistency in holding back, and low moral. I've got to increase his moral. Ava Flawless defeated Trish Stratus by pinfall for a 45, which wasn't too bad. Ace Austin defeated Drew Galloway with the fold for an 83, which wasn't bad. But then CM Punk came out of nowhere and attacked Drew Galloway with the TNA World Heavyweight title and left him a bloody mess. Okay, we start the show off with Walter, Griff Garrison, and Austin Theory teaming up to take on Andrade, Charlie Regal, and Bryan Danielson. It gets a 63, and it was because Walter was rusty. Julia Hart afterwards comes down and says, cool. Bayley Rose comes out and says that she wants a tag team match tonight. MJF is backstage, and he's trying to talk Myro into joining corporate. Myro doesn't want it because corporate beat him up 2 or 3 months back. AJ Styles is backstage and Marshall Von Erich is telling him that he should think about taking on Ace Austin, and he will make sure he becomes the next champion. AJ Styles sits there and thinks, Ava Raine and Jamie Hayter takes on Athena and Bailey Rose. Jamie Hayter pinned Bailey Rose with the curb stomp for a 68, and she grabs a microphone and says, "See, this is why I deserve a world title match for the Knockouts world title." She says, "And I'm the one who will take it from Liv Morgan." The Rock is backstage, and he's kind of hyping up his daughter. Drew Galloway is making his entrance when CM Punk attacks. He connects with his finisher, even though they keep going. And Drew Galloway defeated CM Punk when MJF interfered for a 70. That's not bad. AJ Styles defeated Ayaki Yayo with the phenomenal forearm for a 67. Not bad. Also, I did find out something. I could turn off that repetitive booking all along. Ace Austin makes defense number 6 of the TNA World title when CM Punk comes in and GTS's MJF. And then we see CM Punk shaking hands with Ace Austin. I mean, we can see that Ace Austin is face now, but he's still acknowledging that CM Punk did help him win. Oh, 93. Woo-hoo-hoo. That might be our new record. Okay, we start to show off with The Rock hyping up his daughter. And then Ace Austin is arriving to the arena for a 100, not bad. Ava Flawless defeats Mercedes Money for a 53 by pinfall. Griff Garrison defeated Bobby Orlando with a spear, not bad. AJ Styles tells a KO Yayo to respond to his challenge. CM Punk defeated Drew Galloway in a street fight match. Not bad. 75. Julia Hart is backstage and Marshall Von Erich. It's kind of a romance segment, I'll put it that way. Anyhow, Bobby Lashley defeated Jon Moxley by submission with the Hurt Lock. The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler with the skull-crushing finale. 476, not bad. And then Christian Cage comes out and says, CM Punk, come out here. CM Punk's music hits and he comes out and he says, at TNA Slammiversary, you will defend your title against Drew Galloway, MJF, Randy Orton, and Bobby Lashley. And then special guest opponent, Edge, in a chamber match. The Miz gets on the microphone and says, Dolph Ziggler, you think that you are the best, but you ain't even in the same playing field that I am. I'm the A-lister. I'm the Miz. When you started out, I was world champion. You came back when I became world champion here. You stole my spotlight and became a 2-time champion because you didn't know how to finish a match. Ace Austin makes defense number 7 of the TNA World title for a 73. That's not bad. A broken eardrum. Dang. 83 though. We did increase in 14 regions. We will see how bad of an injury Ace Austin has. Okay, he will miss work for 19 days. We will also do this surgery here. Surgical complications. Oh no, he might have to retire. You know, thinking about Seth Rollins might have to after he gets back. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. So, hang on. Let me get this off. He may have to retire. Mm. He very may well have to retire. We have quite a few injured people, but his Ace Austin's injury isn't as extreme as to make him vacate his title. Because I mean, he'll be back before the new champion even gets his reign started. He'll only have like 18 days as champion, 17 days as champion. If he won it tomorrow, right? Either 18 or 17 days as champion when Ace returns. Question was, who was it that he defended? Oh yeah, Charles Regal. Let's see if they have some backstage beef, because a lot of times the wrestlers, they'll have backstage beefs after they get injured by somebody. Nope. Wow. Not bad. Hmm. Seth Rollins hates Dolph Ziggler. Wonder why. Oh yeah. I think Dolph Ziggler was caught in a, if I'm not mistaken, Becky Lynch, yeah. I wonder if the scandal is up on Roman Reigns though. Hang on. Roman, there he is. Nope. Hang on. Okay, we have MJF here saying that he's glad that he's in the chamber, but he's not glad that he will be facing his friend and ally Randy Orton. We see Marshall Von Erich and Julia Hart. Marshall Von Erich and her having a romance segment. Ace Austin is walking backstage, and we can see his injury. But CM Punk defeated Drew Galloway with a go to sleep for a 72. That's not bad. And then CM Punk unloads. He says that he's the best in the world, that Drew McIntyre is nothing without always having to bring up his Scottish heritage, and that he's nothing without his tantrums. MJF defeated AJ Styles for a 75, not bad. 88. Marshall Von Erich comes on and says that Ace Austin is nothing but a spotlight taker, greedy human being, and a wannabe tough guy. Marshall Von Erich gets a 100 on it. We see Julia Hart here, and she's backing Marshall Von Erich up. AJ Styles is backstage, telling Liv Morgan that he don't want to face Ace Austin because he thinks that he and Ace Austin are two of the greatest that TNA has saw, and he doesn't want his last match or Ace Austin's to be with one another. Ricochet defeated Ayaki Yayo with a 630 splash for a 69. We see Jamie Hayter defeat Athena with a curb stomp for a 74. And then CM Punk makes an entrance for his match, which gets a 72. Not bad. Austin Theory is here, and he challenges Jon Moxley for the Grand title. We see Mariah May defeat Ava Flawless with the reverse bulldog. Don't know how, but did get a 63. John Cena and Montez Ford are backstage. I guess having a rap thing or something. Julia Hart is backstage as well, and she's walking around telling everyone that Marshall Von Erich is the GOAT of TNA. We see Ace Austin and Marshall Von Erich get into a brawl for an 82. That's not bad. Liv Morgan is backstage, and MJF is kind of trying to romance his way. 70. AJ Styles says that he wants to face Drew Galloway tonight, but at Slammiversary, he will face Ayaki Yayo. CM Punk is here, and he tells Drew Galloway to be careful. The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler for a 76. It's nice. Bryan Danielson versus Ayaki Yayo defeated him for a 65. And then AJ Styles defeated Drew Galloway when CM Punk came out of nowhere and hit Drew Galloway with a steel chair. Wow. 88. Not bad. We'll check on that rating, though. We start the show off with The Miz defeating Dolph Ziggler for a 79. And then David Benoit versus Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio defeated David Benoit. And then the world's favorite tag team versus Otis and Vandegrift. Otis and Vandegrift win the TNA World Tag Team titles. And then Jamie Hayter wins the TNA Knockouts World title for an 80. And afterwards, she has tears in her eyes because she loves that title. Ayaki Yayo finally wins the X Division title for a 68. Adam Page versus Chad Gable. Adam Page defeated Chad Gable for a 78. Not bad. Austin Theory wins the TNA Grand title for a 67. And Edge versus MJF versus Randy Orton versus CM Punk versus Drew Galloway versus Bobby Lashley gets a 68. And then Drew Galloway and CM Punk brawl to the back. 54. Okay, I'm going to stop here today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, your family. But the most important of all, share with your dog.